to your either your business premises or your residential apartment or even your office, your workplace. So the days where you have to go to a store physically to shop for items, pick items, make payment and all of that, then have it packed for you, then you take it to your house. Those days are gradually easing off. So now you can, even on your bed, shop for a variety of items, anything you need, shop for it, even including foodstuff, home appliances, gadgets, clothing, even cars, houses. So this, like, it's that interesting. So this is a time now where people can just, with their device, they can shop for things, even make payments, and all that they need to do is just to wait for delivery of these items. And the COVID-19 experience, the lockdown, also was one of the things that also made this trend very much pronounced. So the world of business has gradually, like, there's a gradual shift, and there's like a new world of business now. So as a business owner, either someone who is just starting up the business, or you've been in business before, it is very important that you pay attention to how people order for goods or your portal, and how goods are delivered to them. So if you are starting a business, you are setting up a business, and in the process you feel that or you would want to go into a line of business where people can order for goods and have it delivered to their doorstep. So in developing your website, so it's not just enough to get a website developer to build a website, or if you need to develop a software application, it's not just enough to get tech bros to do all of these things for you. It is always it is also recommended that you also have an order policy, just like we talked about last week, that you need to have a privacy policy, because in dealing with these customers, you'll be getting some details. It demands that you get some details from them, and based on the various and laid down provisions and regulations on privacy and data protection and all of that. So it's not just enough to have a privacy policy, just as we discussed last week. It is also good that you have an order and payment policy. So basically what this policy is going to revolve around is how people engage your website or your softwares, how they engage, how they place their orders, how delivery is done, how payment is made, because it, like, all of these things are interwoven. Because if you're also having a payment gateway on your portal too, you'll be getting people's details too, because if someone is making payments using their debit cards, you'll be getting details of their cards and all of that, their pins and all of this. So this is why you also need to have that privacy policy that we talked about last week. If you didn't join us last week, I will encourage you to check our last video. That's where we talked about privacy policy. So talking about payment policy now, is it such that people can pay before delivery or upon delivery of goods? And even if we are saying pay on delivery of goods, is it that I have to consume first, or I have to check, I have to test and all of that? At what point do I pay, or at what point is it expected of me to pay when the good is delivered to my doorstep? And also talking about return policy, remember, all people are shopping for things online. They are not seeing it before paying. So it's not something they see before they make payment for. And this popular trend of what I ordered versus what I got. So if it's a case of, oh, this is what I saw online, and at the time of delivery I'm seeing something else, how can I return goods? How and when should I? In what state? How am I to go about all of this? So these are things that you need to have clearly stated in your order and payment policy and return policy. So this is just what we'll be talking about this afternoon: how to seamlessly manage your order and payment policy, such that you'll be able to save yourself, because we've seen cases where people will place an order for a particular item, and due to one reason or the other, you are unable to deliver the item again, and someone is saying, oh, I've banked on you. And this is a time where people can easily go online to post things based on poor service delivery and all of that. So just imagine someone has ordered for a particular goods on your website, and there has been a timeline you stated that delivery is going to be made within 2 to 3 days. You were unable to make deliveries after 3 days, not based on negligence now, but let's say something happened which demands that you're unable to make delivery within that time frame. And an aggrieved customer can easily go online to just call your name out on any of the social media pages, and you keep seeing your names everywhere, you are trending, and you feel, oh, my business has made it, only for you to see comments and post about a particular service which a client is not satisfied with. So, but when you have an order policy, you have payment policy, delivery policy, and all of this, you have it stated. So you can easily protect yourself to the extent that, just look at let's take for instance the COVID-19 scenario. So let's say someone has ordered for a particular goods, and there's a delivery timeline of 21 days, and before 21 days, before the expiration of 21 days, or while the 21 days time frame is still running, that was, let's just assume that that was when the lockdown, the government declares lockdown. So there's lockdown, you can't go out of your house, everybody is indoor, there's no way you can deliver that particular goods. Fine, the person has made payment, you've told the person is going to get goods within a time frame, but because of government measures, government restrictions and all of that, you are unable to deliver the goods again. So what's remedy? Can someone say, oh, you failed to deliver my goods, I don't want the goods again, I want a refund and all of that? So these are things that this is why you need to have a policy statement. So once people log into your to their dashboard, or once they open your website, when they start shopping, because now people, like, your online store now is like it's almost the same thing as a physical store where people walk in, check for items on the shelves and all of that. Now you have all these things online. We have people having a cart, just like the regular cart where you, when you go to a supermarket, you have a cart where you keep things, your items you've selected on the shelves and all of that. So in case where you have all of the people are done with all of these things, then you should have a policy to say that, oh, this is how orders are made. When you place an order online, how do you know the order has been confirmed? For you to even start saying, oh, I have a 3 days timeline to deliver, I have 2 days timeline to deliver and all of that. And when you say you have 2 days timeline, 3 days timeline, does this timeline, does it include weekends, public holidays? So let's say I order a good for on, let's say, on a Thursday, and at the time of ordering and all of that, when I was done, you gave me a 3 days timeline for delivery. So the good was ordered on Thursday. So on a reasonable man will start counting. Let's just say, okay, fine, I placed this order on Thursday. A reasonable man wants to say, okay, Friday is a day for delivery, and Saturday, Sunday. Then the person can just figure his position and mind to, like, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. But if you have it stated on your portal or on your website that where an order is placed on a particular date, a day, let's say weekends. So let's say that Friday is a public holiday. If you have it stated that public holidays are exempted, so okay, let's just even use Thursday, Friday is still closed. Let's say another was placed on Monday. So you have a 3 days timeline for delivery. So we have Tuesday, we have Wednesday, we have Thursday. So that's 3 days. So if the federal government declares public holiday, that's like, let's just say 3 days. There was a particular Muslim holiday, I think last year, that lasted for like almost a week, like 2-3 days. So let's just take that as a perfect example for this discussion. So a good was ordered and the order was confirmed on a Monday. There's a 3 days timeline, and there's public holiday on Tuesday, there's public holiday on Wednesday, there's public holiday on Thursday. So as a customer who has ordered for that good, is it reasonable for me to expect my delivery latest Friday? Yes, because you have a 3 days timeline. But if on your order policy you already stated that deliveries are not made on public holidays or weekends, then you've just excused yourself. So if anyone now goes online to say that, oh, this particular people, they said they were going to deliver my items within the time frame, I already positioned my mind, oh, it's an engagement ring, I want to propose to my girlfriend, you ordered for the ring, and you plan to have that proposal done the following day or 2 days time, and they've given you a 2 days delivery, but the 2 days delivery, the 2 days after you place the order is a public holiday. So you can't just now go online to start calling the business house to say, oh, they failed to deliver your ring and all of that. You're unable to make proposals, or maybe it's a wedding, oh, I'm unable to hold the wedding with the wedding engagement ring and all of that because they failed to deliver. So if you have it stated on your portal to say that these days and these days, or even time, you can even say that, oh, deliveries are only made within this time. So let's just say between the hours of 8 to 5 p.m. So any delivery that is not done after 5 p.m., people should not expect your delivery agent and all of that. So these are things that you need to have on your policy statement and all of that. So you don't have to wait to have your business grow into an empire. So you can start small, even if you operate within the 4 walls of your house. You don't have a physical store, and people do that a lot now. They don't even have a store. All where they use as their warehouse is their house. That's where they house all their items. So they just operate a portal, like a website, where people can subscribe to things, people can place orders and all of that. So even if that is what you operate, you should have a policy that provides and that customers can use as a guide when placing an order, or when expecting delivery and all of that. So this afternoon, let me just we just state some things that you should put into consideration when coming up with your payment, order and return policy. So first thing that you should have at the back of your mind, or first thing that should guide you when coming up with this policy, is the fact that your policies should be very clear. It should be simple, unambiguous, not too long, and easy for people to understand. So many of us, we quite agree with me that sometimes you want to do some things on some website or a particular application. You just downloaded an app, and I will tell you a message usually pops up on your screen, either on your phone or your laptop device or any device you are using. There's always something that comes up when you visit a website for the first time, or you download a software for the first time. So it's always like a privacy policy, terms and conditions, all of that. Oftentimes, like, I can say that 70 to 80% of people just click accept without reading through. And personally, sometimes I've had to, okay, as a lawyer, let me not just click accept, let me not just accept all things that keeps popping up on my phone. And sometimes I try to read, and especially for some industries, I wouldn't want to mention some sectors. There are some industries that if you click on their terms and conditions and all of that, you keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. There was a particular industry I subscribed to. There, I downloaded the software, and when this terms and condition popped up on my screen, okay, I was like, okay, let me read. And I kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and these things that are on very tiny prints that you can easily read. So at the end of the day, I just had to just close my eyes and accept. So but then I've accepted it. So if there's anything later on or in times to come, and I'm like, oh, these people have breached my privacy, or this and that, and they just tell me, oh, you signed the policy, but I wasn't patient enough to read it. But then that is not an excuse on my part. I can't state that as an excuse because I already clicked the accept and I'm binding by those terms. So but as business owners, we are relating with people, so we shouldn't just put people at our mercies. They are customers, and this customer experience, the experience at your business, how a customer is able to navigate your portal and all of that, their customer experiences that you should prioritize and try to ensure that everyone is able to understand what they are accepting. And some of these policies or some of these websites, they tell you, oh, if you disagree, you won't be able to access these pages. And sometimes I'm about to just disagree and just let go if I know that it's not something that is very, very important for me like that. So you should ensure that your order policy, your payment policy, and return policies, they are simple. So it shouldn't be something that people will have to now print out, then see it all day to read before they can understand and comprehend what it's about. So try to make it very simple, short, that people can easily relate with. So talking about clarity now and simplicity. So what are the things that you need to be clear about in your order policy? Because I've said that you should make it very simple and short. So if you are making it short, are there things that you need to put into consideration? Because now we are saying that you should make it very short, brief, but very, very detailed. So what are the things that you need to look out for even when you are trying to make this policy short? Because in the process of making it short, you shouldn't also take out things that are very important, things that you need to put into consideration, things that will not just help your customers in engaging your online store, but it will also help you as a business owner to protect yourself, so that you are not no one is able to take advantage of the fact that you are trying to make things simple for them. So your order policy should clearly state when an order is made and approved, and when an already placed order too is cancelled. Because personally, there are times I place order on there was time I placed an order on a particular website, and after the order was confirmed, I was already anticipating and hoping to get what I ordered for, only for me to get a mail like a week after, because the delivery timeline was like almost a month, only for me to get a mail like a week after to say that the order has been cancelled because there's a change in shipping rates and all of that. So you need to clearly state all of this. So if you are cancelling an order, you should not just cancel and just leave it there like that. You should give reasons. Then you should have in your order policy that at the time people are placing order, you should have a policy, or have it stated in your policy that the fact that you've even confirmed the order, it's not like a guarantee that the goods will be delivered or that it cannot be cancelled, because there can be a change in shipping rate. So let's say an order was placed, let's say today is Monday, an order was placed today, that's a particular, at the time the order was placed, or at the time even that goods was placed on the online store, it's the price was for a particular amount, especially if the order is such that it requires shipping and all of that. So I've placed order for this, this is the amount, an amount has been stipulated as the cost price, delivery and all of that. But during the course of shipping and all of that, there's a change in price and all of that, and it is not reasonable, it is not profitable for you as a business owner to still deliver that goods at that particular time. Or let's say, for instance, a very scenario that we can relate to during the first scarcity. So let's say someone has placed an order and the cost of delivery now has gone up because there was first scarcity, there was an increase in transport fares and all of that. So let's say you are using a dispatch rider, you don't have a dispatch of your own, and you already have a dispatch rider that delivers things for you, let's say at 1,000 naira, and now the dispatch rider is telling you that, oh, before I can deliver this thing to this particular premises, because of the fuel scarcity and all of that, I can't do it nothing less than let's say 1,500 or 2,000. It is not profitable for you to go ahead with that kind of delivery, because now it's like an 1,000 naira increase, or let's say 500 naira increase. So you should have it in your order policy that there can be cases where there's a change in price, either as a result of prevailing economic situation and all of that. So you just prepare people's mind, so that when they are placing the order, and when you have to either cancel the order or review the price of the goods, people are not, it's not just coming to them as a big shock. Their mind is well prepared for things like that. So another thing that your order policy should also include is that it should state the timeline for processing of orders. So let's use the scenario I gave you, like the example of someone who wants to propose to, let's say, a lady, and he already has a timeline in his mind. Oh, I want this done I want to propose to this lady in a week's time. So he already positioned in mind that, oh, latest before a particular time I should have this ring if I order for this ring on your website. So if your timeline for delivery is not a definite one, or if you just put anything there, so you need to be very clear. If you know that, oh, it will take me 5 days to have these things delivered, don't just say because, oh, I want to get people to patronize me, then you go ahead to put 2 days there, and the person keeps waiting and waiting like that. So you shouldn't just say because I want people to, because you want to gain traffic to your page, you keep reducing things and doing all of that, misrepresenting things to people. So you should be very clear. Let people know that the timeline for processing their orders, if it's 5 days, let it be there that it's 5 days, so their mind is well prepared. So if anyone now comes to say, oh, I ordered for this good, I expected it delivered the following day, but I only got it like 7 days after, then you can have it as a defense to state that at the time you placed the order for the good, the timeline for processing of that order was clearly stated as 7 days. So anyone cannot just come to say, oh, I thought it's just 2 days, but I only got my goods after 7 days. So you should have a timeline for processing of orders and delivering of people's orders. So you should have a timeline that would guide you on each stages, because for example, Jumia, they have a policy to the extent that if you order for a goods on Jumia, I've ordered several times, and even when the order is complete, you get a notification that the order has been approved or has been confirmed. At the point of delivery, to when it's just some days to your delivery, you also get a notification that your order or your goods is already at a particular location, and you would get delivery in some days time. When it's on the delivery date, you also get a notification again to say that, oh, you should have your goods delivered to you today. So it is not, you don't have to grow to the size of Jumia. Even as a small business, for someone who is just running this thing within your bedroom and all of that, you just sit on your phone, you put things online and all of that, then people place order. Irrespective of the size of your business, you can have things done in a very organized manner, so that you are not just protecting, or you're not just encouraging people to shop with you, but you are also protecting yourself from legal actions and all of that. So your policy again should contain the mode of payment. How are people going to make payment? Is it that they are to pay for the goods they've ordered for before delivery, or even before their order is confirmed? There are some goods that if you want to order for them, if you don't make payments, you won't get that order confirmed. So is it that I have to make payments before confirmation of order, or I have to make payments before delivery, or I have to make payment upon delivery. Then if there's going to be a change in payment terms, just like I talked about, if there's a change in price of goods and all of that, so you should have these things stated in your order and payment policy. So if there is a need for you to charge for additional fees because of the change in price and prevalent economic situation and all of that, you should have this stated in your order and payment policy. Then another thing that you should also state in your order and payment policy, I talked about it briefly, is that you should have a timeline. Let people know your delivery days. Do you deliver to people on Sundays? Do you deliver to people on Saturdays? Do you deliver to people during public holidays? Or is there a time which you deliver, in the morning, afternoon, night, and all of that? So you should have all of these stated so that everybody shopping on your page, they have their mind well prepared. So if they order for a good and they know that, oh, this is Monday, tomorrow is public holiday, let me not just expect delivery of this good. So you should have this clearly stated. Then another thing that you should have in your policies, also how people relate or engage with your items after delivery. So if you have a policy that allows people to pay only upon delivery, so you are saying fine, you can pay upon delivery, so you can confirm that it is what you ordered that you are getting. So there are different you agree with me, there are different goods and what is applicable to a particular good. So let's say you are delivering a food items now, and or a cooked food or snacks and all of that, consumables. So if you are saying fine, you can pay on delivery, because we have some restaurants, some stores that allows you to pay upon delivery of this consumable. So at what point is the customer to pay? Is it after consuming the goods and you now discover that, oh, I thought the picture I saw online, it's a picture of a food that looks very enticing, but now I'm done eating, the food is not sweet, it is not what I expected, it's not as sweet, as tasty as I expected it to be, so I'm not going to pay back. No. So you should have it clearly stated. Is it after testing? So if it's a gadget, is it after testing the goods, is that when I pay, or once it is just delivered to me, oh, I've seen, okay, this is it, then payment is made? Then if there's any issue with return or issue on quality, quantity and all of that, then I can lodge it at a later time. So you should have this clearly spelled out. So let's say it's a clothes, is it that I have to test the clothes first before paying, or I have to check everything and all of that? So you should have all of this clearly stated. And if it is such that, oh, once the good is presented to you, whether it is good or not, make payment, then how do you handle refund? So fine, I've made the payment, now the delivery man is gone, because I understand that the delivery man is not like a staff. Let's say it's an external delivery agent you are using. In order not to keep the guy waiting, you make payment, and now I've gone to size the clothes, it's not my size, I've tested the phone, it's not coming on. How do people return goods? Is it that, oh, a good was delivered, this is April now,